It's so heavy.
Alright, hello everybody. Hello Miss Lux, congrats on getting first. Hello CJ, congrats on getting second. Hi Johnny. Hi Fumar, thank you for the hug, I hook you back. Alright, let's fix this camera, because I always have to bring down the brightness, but if I do it before I switch to this screen, it freaks the fuck out. I don't know why. It's the funniest thing. There we go. I had to. There we go. We got a new angle because we also have 2 monitors now. And now I don't even have to move my whole desk. I just move the one monitor. The webcam's just sitting on top of it. It's so nice. It's so nice. I do have to like reconfigure some of this stuff though. Alright, alright. Do we have everything? Yes. Yes, the hi Johnny. So we are still also fundraising for the 1000 Dreams Fund Dream Girl Summer, which goes towards all of the 1000 Dreams Fund's programs. So it's not just the Broadcast Her initiative for all of us streamers or women in e-gaming, esports, all of that. But it's also for their scholarships and things like that for students that are in STEM. So it's an amazing fundraiser. And that's why it's really Dream Girl Summer, because it's funding all of the dreams. All of the dreams. And Johnny really wants me to hit 575 raised. We have 375 left. This is the last week of the fundraiser. Last week. I go until Friday. Y'all get 4 streams out of me, so this week, so maybe you can get it. I don't know. Johnny doesn't get to pie me. Haha, Johnny. I might lower this a little. Hang on. If things freak out, I'm sorry. Yeah. There we go. Oh, no worries, CJ. There we go. That's better. That's a little bit better. I like that better. Maybe a little. That's better. That's better. I like that better. Okay. And I do have the sub goal refreshed. At this point, I'm just gonna let you pick a game if we hit it. Also, I don't have crowd control open. Let me get that open. But you get your coins for Wednesday. Of course it's updating. It updates every freaking time I open it. So silly. No, I didn't take my supplements. I gotta take those then. Crowd control, hello. Yeah, Mix It Up is pretty bad with that too, honestly. Yeah. OBS is a little less bad. But like literally crowd control is almost every time. Alright, there's that. Let me pin this one, because Johnny said people like this one pinned. Hide for myself. And I also like that now I don't necessarily need my chat overlay. It's just literally right there. I love it. I love it. It's so nice. It's so nice. I also don't have Tangy open. I didn't open anything. I was eating dinner and then I was like, oh yeah, I stream. That said, I did my makeup in like 5 minutes, so there is that. PNG is open. Okay, that's the last thing I have to open. Alright, so we are going to continue Rita, which we started on Friday. Super cute, puzzly, platformy kind of game. The puzzles are all word-based, so there's been things like crossword puzzles, word searches, almost like anagram kind of stuff, which has been really neat. Oh wait, no, not new game, continue game. God, that would have been bad. Because we got really far. Alright. And you play as a cute little chick. Or a chicken, depending on which section you're in. And you can glide now. Freaking love it. That's probably something I get through the high jump. I love the little footprints that we're leaving behind too. I already did that. So that's probably also a high jump thing. That's right, we were stuck and that's why I ended. I wasn't sure what I needed. Because we don't jump all that high. Okay. I don't know. We needed a Y for Sunny yet. We need a lot for Emerge. I'm assuming this is gonna be Enter. And we need the N for Notes. Wait, we can do Notes. In case anyone's wondering, I spent probably a good half hour trying to figure that out. Okay. Okay. That bee throws me off. Okay. Those don't go there. Hi, Crockpot. Welcome in. How are you? You're sleepy from all the ears of corn. This part really is throwing me off because I'm just like, I don't know where these letters are coming from. Maybe it's for the one that's behind him? But they don't normally... They usually are different colors and stuff. Also, I didn't get a D. Where'd the D go? You gave some to the horses? We like horses. Ah, haha, haha, haha. Sneaky sons of bitches. Wacky weather bemuses Bellman. Bellman's bemusing weather patterns continue to frustrate the forecasters as the recent gloomy conditions have come to an unexpected end. The heavy rain and mist of the last few days have forced many to take shelter indoors, but at last something, or someone, has convinced the sun to make a return. The city is open for business, the words are flowing, and games are back on the agenda. Sweet. Cabda. I will say that's the one thing that I've been having issues with is like this camera is less than easy to work with. We need an E. Oh my goodness, they're dancing. They're dancing. Music makes the crossword sing. The animals of Bellman have a new spring in their step today after the brilliant puzzle-solving of Rita's grand chiclet has graced us all with a musical treat and got the whole town dancing. The musical maestro said they drew inspiration from their grandmother in the fondly remembered Sunday afternoon country music dances of her chiclethood. 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 Beautiful. Yes, I need this other E. You need to not be there. Wait, wait, wait. You have an E too? Get out of my way. Thank you. Okay, okay. So emerge we can do now. There's a Porygon too in chat. Catch that Pokemon. Ooh. I just love that we can triple jump. It makes me so happy. Alright. Anything else this way? Oh, yeah. I can't jump any higher than that. Okay. The platform. It's fine. It's fine. No one saw. Can we get big jump? I want big jump. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Oh, we got the... We got just sidelined by a cow. Nice catch, Crockpot. You caught the Porygon too. GG's. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna land on him. Oh, you can't land on him. Okay, you go right through him. What's up, big guy? Nope. Okay. He literally smacks you out of the way. Thanks. Oh, that's a you. There was another chick there. Pesky little animals getting on the roof. I thought we built high enough. But no. You chickens learned how to put 3 jumps together. Okay, but that doesn't make me go any higher. Rita? I hardly know her. Okay.
This complains when I jump on their roof, but I can't help it. I'm training to be a parkour champion.
Parkour!
Parkour! My training is to make it to the window without touching grass. Want to try my training routine?
Where's the windmill? Oh, over there? Well, I touched grass. Okay. Oh! I missed that. It says guest. Don't look at me. I'm supposed to be a quadruped, but currently I have 0 legs. Aha! Alright, so triple... Ooh, mint chocolate chip ice cream. That would make them ground beef, by the way. That was beautiful. Alright, I don't like putting numbers in these, that's weird. Much better. Thanks, friend. Perhaps I will be more used to you now. Don't. That. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I mean, B. Okay, I need... Oh. I can walk right... That was a very chick thing to do, is just walk right under it. Beyond the Romans and in the trees, holes present in groups of threes. The odd tree out gives the clue. Oh, behind it, you know what to do. Oh, hello, my nibbling. The telephone lines to Shepton have just been installed. You should call your grandmother. Say hi from me. Oh, hello, dear. How are you going? Thanks for calling. Do you like living there in the big city? This just looks so silly. I'm going to send you a letter. Call me anytime. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Yet another technological milestone for Bellman as it installs its first telephone system, allowing quick and easy contact with our neighbors to the west in Shepton. In an exciting moment, the inaugural call was made by Rita's grand chicklet to their doting grandmother. The two spoke for several minutes, with the little one catching Rita up on their adventures since moving to Bellman. Despite only having a short time to chat, both were glad for the reunion, with Rita urging her grand chicklet to call her back anytime. Okay. Yes, you can play. I need a pee. Oh, I can't get that. I need a pee. Where's the pee? There's the pee. Okay. Oh, I see. We need to go up here, and then to this cow, and then over to this barrel. And up here, and get that. Okay, and then 4. There's 3. Nope. 3 jumps. Hey, Long Dong! It's been a long time. How you doing? I refuse to call you by your new name. This is called Rita. It's it kind of combines platforming plus being a word puzzle game. Oh, I can jump midair now. I can jump midair now. That's so nice. Okay. Hectic but good? We like hearing good. But I hear you on the hectic. Holy crap. You can always call me. Converse verbally. Oh, I like that. I like that the clues are down here. Aussie greeting. Oh my god, it's a big chicken butt. Ears function. And grasp with hand. This was here. Grab. Hear it ring and grab the phone. Say good day. And talk all day. Yeah, we got an eye. The chicken just pooped an eye. Big Rita. Your message would get nuked. This is fun. Are we supposed to actually talk to her? No, we can't talk to her. I like that our feet sparkle now. That was cute. I like that. You can always call me. Hello, Rita is how I'd start every phone call, and in the days of a landline and no caller ID, you may not know who is on the other end. Oh, hi mate, how you going? She knew instantly it was me. It's hard to admit, but I tended to call her more often when I was feeling down or struggling. She knew this. One day she told me, I don't mind if I haven't heard from you in a while. It means I know you are doing okay. No matter the situation, I knew I could always call her. This is making me feel like it's gonna get so depressing so quickly, and I'm not okay with that. Yeah, there's stuff we want over here. There's stuff in the other section too, but... Looks like I'm burnt out pixie dust. You got some things that will make me laugh. Try me. Alright, 8... No, 11... You got roasted? No, he probably did deserve it, honestly. Let me see. I got distracted. I was helping someone with a archipelago thing. Oh my god, Johnny really did get roasted. To be fair, you opened up yourself for that one. There's a Bunnelby in chat, catch that Pokemon. No, Johnny, you started it. You popped in. Alright, be here. Yeah, you can't even complain. Okay, so over here. So we need an H for H2O. This is probably going to be too fast, which I don't have the stuff for. And this is probably going to be one more.
You were close.
So that's probably what all that's gonna be. Hi, sweetheart. Can I just grab the H? Or I'm gonna have to slow him down. It's not gonna let me grab the H. Yeah, it's not gonna let me grab it. Dang it. Fine, we'll go back this way and do some other stuff. Like high jump. Get feathers. Alrighty, we're on. Ready to compete in the high jump? Sure. Okay. $16. Yes. Yeah. I'm just doing other stuff right now. I'm trying to jump up and land on these bars. Hee. Now I landed on his nose. Oh, I see. I don't think I can get any higher than that. Okay. Okay. I just have to watch my time. I have my race at 10 at night. Yeah, I figured. Yeah. Not chickens, kittens. Yeah, thank you. I'm playing a game where I'm playing a chicken, so in case you're wondering where that brain cell went. I did also add some stuff to Throne. Since you guys have been loving the foster kittens, I added some toys. The kittens do indeed steal the brain cells. Honestly, I might add their food on there too, but who knows how long they're actually gonna be on that stuff. Because we're still guesstimating their ages and whatnot. That was an achievement. We got another page of our newspaper. We go dig, dig, dig. We go dig, dig, dig some more. We got another thing for that. I just want to check these trees. Doesn't look like anything. No, okay. Oh wait, trees of 3. And these trees aren't in trees of 3. But the kittens are really cute. We're gonna give them a bath tomorrow. We were gonna do it today, but we just ran out of time. Love many, trust few, always paddle your own canoe. Hey, Rita, welcome in. How are you? Oh, we got another word search. Yeah, a little chicken.
Oh my god. Hey.
Bonjour, I speak French. We found melons. Thank you for the hydrate. We say amour. Johnny, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't been diagnosed with anything. I'm totally neurotypical. Actually, well, no, I technically haven't been diagnosed with anxiety. They just say I have anxiety because I tell them I have anxiety. Hallo, I speak German. We say Liebe. Hello, I speak Dutch. We say Liefde. Dutch is weird. Hola, I speak Portuguese. We say amor. I don't have diagnosis. Ni hao, I speak Mandarin. We say ai. Okay, so we got amor. We need Liebe. We need I. Okay. We gotta undo this one because we got Liefde and we got Liebe that we need, which means we need something else here. This one can move. And then we get Liebe. Right? How cute is this freaking game? I love it so much. And like in these sections, sometimes you can't jump. Like right now, I can't jump. You can trust me. The path is right, left, right, right, middle. You can trust me. Path is left, middle, right, right, right. Well, you didn't spell path right. That one said can. That one said trucks. So it's this one. Middle, left, middle, right, right. Middle, left, middle, right, right. You want me to curse you out, Johnny? Sure, you can ride in my gondola. Sure, you can ride in my gondola. Oh, we're just finding different... Okay. Gondola, raft, kayak. We want canoe. Okay, I can't type in here yet, so... I don't... Aha! Okay. Does this one also do it? Whee! Does it matter where we put them? Oh, yeah, okay. There's a fan pee in chat. Catch that Pokemon. Okay, so I need to shift this because we need the Y over here. Actually, no, we have another Y. We need the A, so we need to bump it one more. Oh, but I need...
You were close.
Okay, so we need to swap canoe and paddle. There's only one W, yeah. Well, no, there's two W's. There was only one N, though. And then we can do this for your... So we get our own, and it'll let us across. That was neat once I figured out what was going on. Love many, trust few. I'm not exactly one to believe in the spirit world or mystical connections between people, but sometimes you'll encounter someone who just gives off the same aura as a person you know. Perhaps they are actually connected, or maybe it's all explained by biology and circumstance. There was an interview on TV with an old lady. She was about to turn 100. When I heard her speak, I just thought, that feels like Rita is talking to me. I have no idea who she was, and she certainly had no connection to myself or Rita. Her advice for life, which has stuck with me, was love many, trust few, always paddle your own canoe. I like that. Oh, okay. Stumbled upon the answer to that one. Cool. Alright, so... Oh, that's fun. One more down, one more to go. Aspendale's long-awaited bridge construction project is one step closer to realization today, as locals witnessed the third section of the bridge officially completed. With only one phase of construction still to be completed, the grand opening of the bridge is expected to be announced soon. Residents can look forward to a whole world of exciting new opportunities for traveling and working in the wider world outside Aspendale.
What the heck?
Woo! Thank you for the 5-stream streak. Welcome in. How are you? Happy Monday. H and oh, we've got water. I wonder if there's an achievement for just riding that cow for a while. I'm doing pretty good. Also, I do have crowd control on for the people who want to hoard their coins. I do. Even though some of you have way too many coins as it is. Melums. Probably also Johnny. Abort! The cow is shaking its butt. So we know A, At, and Rat are done. That I'm assuming is Tarot. Abort's probably this. What do I call a cow with 3 legs? Let me try and figure it out first. Hang on. Lean beef. I like it. Warbot. Blue, we had that. It was ground beef. We had that one. Crockpot actually said that earlier because there was a cow that you had to do the 4 legs for to give it legs. He was like, "Don't look at me, I don't have legs." Robot. Cobra? Tobar. There we go. The lean beef into the ground beef. Yeah, that one, this one over here. This one didn't have legs, and it was like, "Don't look at me, I don't have legs. I need 4 legs." Rowboat. Okay. We get there eventually. We're just a little slow sometimes. It's fine. And no. Everything is new here in New Glebe. Rita misses you. You know you should visit her. Oh, we get symbols instead of letters now? What is this? That's a tree. That's a hand. Oh my god, are we sending her a text message? With emotes? She's not gonna know what to do with that. Okay. Things I feel like I shouldn't be able to do. New Gleb cross emoji. Oh, it's a palm tree. And then a tree house. Also, they don't let you land on the fire. I've tried. You can't fry chicken yourself. Actual best view of the bridge. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That is a good view. Genie transport. Historic bridge completion. Aspendale and New Glebe are once again a Twitter with excitement, with the whole town coming out to see its spectacular new bridge, which has recently received its grand opening. The finished construction is a vivid testimony that the patience and persistence of all who have helped in its creation have paid off. Among those celebrating were Rita and her grand chicklet, who are both surely looking forward to the reunion this bridge will bring. Oh my god, do we get to fly on a magic carpet? Saw it glowing up there. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. A whole new world. I was about to be like, this isn't realistic, and then I was like, well, look at this whole game. We're chickens solving crossword puzzles. And wearing glasses and backpacks. This is really stinking cute, though. I never beat the swimming dude, but that was also something that felt like I couldn't beat it without something else. Oh look, Scrabble. I've waited my whole life to cross this bridge. Let's cross together. Why did the chickens cross the bridge? She just pooped out now. And an E. And an N. And a D. There's a Nidoran in chat. Catch that Pokemon. Button.
B12 OG. B12 OG.
Oh, hi mate. How are we going? How's your partner? I've always loved them. People are the best things in life. That's what I always say. Completed, finished. Sorry, my arm itches. Ascend, scale, go up. Climb. Also, I don't know if it comes out at all, but like, look, oh, it does. Look at that bruise. That's for my blood work. Why is it calling me a hoe?
You were close.
Hero. No. What? I don't like this use of numbers like that. It feels silly. I missed a secret thing somewhere. I'm not sure how. No, it says goodbye. It's gonna say goodbye. No. Hi, Bano.
Love wins in the end, little dude.
This one definitely has made me
marry
feel
me.
stupid. That's adorable.
What I wanted to say was,
I started on Friday and
Oh,
I ended
fucking
because I was like,
hell.
I got stuck for a solid half an hour and I was just like, I don't know. And then I realized I just could have used a letter that I just had somewhere else at the time. And I was like, oh. It's fine. It's fine. I have another lesson for you. Oh, look. There it is. This is gonna make me cry. It was spelling out goodbye, and I don't... It's your life, you've gotta live it. Oh my goodness, okay. So this probably has Rita right there. Heritage. Yeah, it's going good. How are you, Bano? Woohoo! Okay, so this is like us going through and remembering all of the stuff that we've done. And all of the different mechanics. That was very generous. Thank you, game. Alright, this is probably... Well, yeah, it's ice cubes. Like, some of these I've seen before, so, like, that's why I got them so quickly. In case anyone's wondering. I could see that one being difficult if you're, like, colorblind with blue. Because there was not much differentiation in shading. Okay. Oh, and then we have like a Sudoku. Oh, well, yeah, it is a Sudoku. Silly me. So this has to be A. This has to be I. This has to be T. This has to be A. R. And you're blue and yellow colorblind? To my knowledge, I'm not colorblind at all. To my knowledge.
kittens are so cute.
The kittens are so cute. Were you holding them?
No,
Okay.
I just booped one.
Oh, you booped one's nose. Very cute.
It was funny.
I don't remember. Fine. Okay. Tile-based word assembly board game. I like that this is how they get around saying Scrabble. we can't say Scrabble. Tile-based word assembly board game. Alright, so we got quote there. At least that's the first thing that I see is we could do quote. Oh wait, there's bouquet. Okay. Did I spell bouquet wrong? Probably. No, I was just in the wrong spot. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
No one ever believes. I'm not gonna believe you, big girl.
Root. Don't touch his face.
It can sound like the kid.
Zombies. Why do we have zombies? I cannot tell what this is at all. The sword duelist? If you say so. I found Rita. And I found me. That's neat that they programmed that in. Just the one with the eppies. Which I probably said wrong. And the pirates, I guess, if you want to go there. Fence. It's fence. It should have drawn me a picture of a fence. And this would be nope. Dang it. Extra. This is really cute. Going back and forth. Zombies, zombies, zombies. In and then jesters. Those look more like clowns than jesters, but okay. 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 Beep, beep. Okay, so... Okay. Oh, what was the year? 73? Or was it 93? Or was it 83? Kiddos, please. Alright, winner score. $15, $32, $43, $30. They tied, did they? Well, that's unfortunate. Okay. Guys. There's a Magnemite in chat. Catch that Pokemon.
B12 OG. B12 OG. B12 OG.
It's your life, you've got to live it. It's common these days to be stuck in your head, or however you want to phrase it, but when you're going through it and you don't know how to talk about it, that can be a scary place. What's wrong with me? What will people think? Oh, I better not do that. The thought spiral begins. I was so worried what people did think or would think of my actions. I was worried I wasn't living up to expectations, and worried I wasn't living the life others wanted for me. I don't remember the first time she told me, but I'll never forget. It's your life, you've got to live it. So here I am, making a video game like I've always wanted to do. Thank you for being my inspiration. That's adorable! Oh. That was quick.
Yeah, not that long.
No. I don't wanna. Grandpa. You know what to do. All my love, Rita. Nice catch, Crockpot. You caught the Magnemite. And that's the story. This was amazing. You made it back for the credits. Yeah, now it's your turn to play it. You missed most of this. Which is good, because now you have to play it. Alright, well I had significantly less left in that game than I thought. This was really good. Thank you again to Keymailer for giving me a free game key to this game. Thank you, devs, for making this. This was great. Keeper CGC. I feel like I know that name. Tweak Lab. I like that name too. Juice Goose. That is great. Juice Goose. This was really cute. Wife and baby. Cute. Aww. This was awesome. This was awesome. Yeah. Spork tank. Oh, I could have been spinning around that entire time. So I know I didn't 100% it because there was also that swimming race over here that I didn't get to do. Or didn't get to beat. But Rita was my Nana. For the longest time, she was my favorite person. If you look hard enough, I think you can see a little bit of Rita in everyone. Oh, and now we get an egg. Oh my god, an egg with glasses on it. I can't. That was amazing. That was really stinking cute. Aww. That's cute. You want an egg with glasses? You are an egg with glasses. That was one of those ones that just came out. That was really funny. That was really funny. That was very much not one of the, planned digs. Oh, the pigs don't get glasses though. What do these do? Like, are they just a decoration or what? Okay, like this section I've completed fully. That was... You're welcome, Johnny. In this section I'm missing a gold feather. Which is probably the race. That's probably the race. There was a sheep here before. Yeah, this thing. I mean, I didn't really swim, but 19 seconds is the record. Oh gosh. I could probably do that. Your family is just too fast for us. Yeah, must get 19 seconds. Nope. Closer. That was worse. Okay. We should stop. Because that was worse. You're so slow. That's it for this section, though. I never actually talked to this one. I'm not sure this shield would do much against a train, but I did see some things floating above the tunnel. So this one I'm missing a black feather and a page, and 2 golden feathers. Wow, we're missing a good bit here. Kid is singing Jingle Bell Rock out in the kitchen. There's a yellow feather over there. Does that count in this section or is that the new section? It's this section too. Okay. 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 I thought I was stuck. I was like, oh no. I broke the game. I would not be surprised, but please don't. Okay. There's a Poliwagon. Catch that Pokemon. It's part of the event. Why did it cut that
B12
off?
OG.
There we go.
B12 OG. B12 OG.
Oh, that was the unique tree. That's why that had the thing. Okay. This is where I'm just like, I don't know if I should really be here, but you know, here we are. Nice catch, Johnny. You caught the Poliwag. I am not 100% sure where I was missing anything in this section. But like, I'm missing stuff. Like a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, well, we have this guy. Oh, you know what? I bet I have to set up a bunch of stuff. Oh, I wanted to land on the cow. The local chiclet scales new heights. Locals were greeted with a strange sight yesterday when they witnessed a chiclet traveling sure-footedly over their heads along the walls and rooftops of the town. The fearless daredevil could be seen nimbly navigating the walls, fences, and houses, seemingly making their way towards the windmill. Our diligent reporters have discovered that the agile avian in question was none other than the grand chiclet of local celebrity Rita. However, we have not been able to determine their motivation for this strange, albeit impressive, method of exploration. Chippendale and DuckTales. I'm glad I know that you mean the, animated, Chippendale. Yeah, now I'm just kind of going through and seeing what I've missed. Like, now there's a black feather and a gold feather that I've somehow missed in... Oh, wait, there's the gold feather. Black feather, I'm not entirely sure where it is. But there's, like, lots of areas like that where it could easily just be behind something. The biggest show. Yeah. There's the feather. See, like that. 100% complete the game. There you go. So now between Friday and this stream, you've seen everything. You're welcome. Alright. Well, that was Rita, and that was really stinking cute. Let me see. Now what do we want to play? Also, Johnny, tell my wife I said hi. So let's see. Out of the things that I have currently downloaded, we got some paranormal cleanup. We can do more Nothing to Declare, Hades 2, Dim Haven, Treasure Beach. More letter loss. What are we feeling? I do have Mecha Chameleon, but that's not going to be fun to watch me just play. No. Because I don't know if there is 100%ing letter lost. There's a lot to letter lost, Johnny. I also have Plucky Squire on here still. Yeah, well, what do we want? What do you guys want me to play? I didn't have anything prepared because I thought there was more to the game. I also have one move away, but I know that bothers some people, and like the few achievements I have left are like 2 that have no poking. Or no, 1 that has no poking, 1 that is pack without changing object shapes, and then 1 that says do not go over the trailer sides while completing the 3rd star, which that's just gonna be insane. That's just gonna be insane. Because that one, you can't go over the top of the car on height. That one was such a pain in the butt to begin with.